Okay, so now the front wheel is off and the front fender is off. All right, it leaves us clear then to start removing the front forks. So we're going to go to behind the back wing fairing and we're going to take off the little piece underneath next to the ignition, and we're going to take these off and start the actual removal of the springs and whatnot with inside. Okay, so now that's done, what we want to do is just loosen these off. All right, your indicator, your flashes, indicators, whatever you want to call them, just loosen the bolts off, okay, because you're going to need to get to these ones above them, okay, which is on one of each side of this plastic cover, which is exactly what we want to take off right now. All right, and to do so, just loosen them off. You don't have to go to town, just enough so you can get this out. So yeah, I mean, the next thing you want to do is get a 532 socket head, and this is what you want to take out, this little bolt up here, and the same on the other side, and then just this whole unit should just come off. And again, they won't be very tight at all. Just be careful when you take these off, okay, because there is a little washer on there, so you don't want to lose that. All right, so take this one off and take the other side off, and then you should in theory be able to get this cover off to get to the fork nuts underneath. So like I said, behind there you'll have two connections, okay. They're just, again, like your normal ones, you just push like so, and the same on the other side in theory, he says, with big gleeful eyeballs. Where are you? There we go, like so, and then this just pulls off, and then again, put that somewhere safe, give it a clean, etc. But these are the two that you need to take off from the back, one there and one there. Okay, so now you can see why we need to take the tank off and that cover. All right, at the top of your fork there is this bolt right here, all right, which is basically securing the fork in place, and obviously there's these two down here, all right, by your brake line. Okay, so again, when you're undoing this, be very careful. You do not want to snap your brake line, which is right there. Okay, so just give yourself a little bit of room, get yourself a little extension like I have with the socket on, and this socket is 1/4 inch, okay, which is going to be here, and these two here. All right, so I am basically, what I'm going to do is, before I do anything, all right, just make sure you have a little look at the notch on top there, all right, on top of the fork itself, and just memorize, or indeed take a picture of where this is sitting. Okay, you can see I'm going to measure that actually just to be on the safe side, so I know when I'm putting it back in kind of roughly where we're at. So we go from there, so we're about 5mm basically. But I am going to take a picture just because obviously on the top there is a notch, okay, so you want it to be exactly when you take these forks out, you want to put it back to exactly where it was in theory, to give you that exact from previous. So I'm going to take a picture of this just to memorize exactly where this was. Then I'm going to undo this nut here, loosen that completely, and then I'm going to take the two nuts down here, I'm going to loosen those and obviously hold the weight of the fork at the same time. So again, this is why you take this off, because you can now see the nuts inside there, the top of the springs, all right, which you're going to be taking off very shortly. So first thing I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to take this one, break it off like that, just loosen it off. You don't need to take it all the way out if you don't want to, but I mean, I'm just going to, that's loose enough, as you can see, so I'm happy with that. Then I'm going to move my way around to the front, and again, I'm going to just turn the handlebars like so, put my foot or knee on the actual fork itself, and just to give it a bit, so she's locked in that direction. And again, I'm going to loosen these off, top and bottom, again, being very careful with your brake line, okay. Okay, so I've undone the 3 bolts up there, and in theory now this should just drop out like so. All right, there is your first fork out. Okay, now the good thing about this, you can inspect the seal and whatnot inside, and if you do have the appropriate kit to punch the seal back into, then you can obviously, I bought the full kit to do everything, so I'm not going to bore you with that, but obviously at this point you can inspect your seals, make sure everything's good and the seal is actually in there. Okay, this is where you're going to get your leaks from, in there, if the seal is bust. But yeah, I mean, you can give it a good look around, give it a clean, make sure there's no cracks, no dents, no scoring or anything like that, and then do the same with the other fork. go with the first fork. All right, make sure it is the correct side that you are putting back in, and I know this one is. So remember about the bevel. All right, when we took them out, we took a picture of where they sat at the time, and obviously when you're going back in, you can kind of see where it was clamped previously. So I'm going to use that as a bit of a guide. So nice and straight, in we go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use the top bolt to secure this in first, and then secure the other two from there, and then we're going to torque them down, which is, I believe, between 14 and 18 foot-pounds. You can, don't worry. Okay, let go. That's it, let go, lad. Okay, and like I said, these two, obviously the pinch bolts down here, make sure they're good, and then you've got the one up the top here. So once you're happy with the state of your forks, all right, you want to torque them down to 14 to 18 foot-pounds. I am going for, what have I got, just around about 16, 17. There's that one. We're good. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the other fork in now. I'm pretty happy where that is, okay? Again, where the notches are at the top, just refer to your service manual for that one, where you want to keep it. And then all I'm going to do, I'm going to use the top bolt up there, just pinch it down, so it's nice and tight, and then I can work on the other bolts from there. So now that she's locked into position, I can then crack on with torque tightening the top one and the bottom bolts. Now remember when I said at the beginning of the video, just be careful you break lines when you're doing this, and obviously don't scratch any of your paint. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. Looks good. And again, torqued down to 14 to 18 foot-pounds. Now remember, because there's two bolts down here, all right, you will need to do it a few times, because obviously once you tighten one up, the other one will become a little bit looser. So just once you're happy, yeah, she's good on that one, and she's now good on that one. And then again, check your top one for final check. Boom, job's a good one, and your forks are back on. Next thing you want to do is you want to put your cover back on onto here, all right? So just like we did before, all right, easy peasy lemon squeezy. You want to get that under there, you want to connect your connectors back in as much as you can, like that, and like that, clicks in, and then we put this back underneath like that. Make sure she goes, oh, we don't want that in there. Make sure she's running properly. What I am going to do while I'm here, I'm going to run my charging cable through there, actually. Yeah, through there. Hopefully that will work. Yep, there we go. And then I can run that up and in to the bike. Perfect. And then all you do is you put your two screws back into the sides, which we'll do now, and then tighten up your indicator or your side lights. Easy peasy.